Hey everyone, it's Jennifer McGuire here. I just wanted to give you an introduction to the Faber-Castell products that I've been having a lot of fun playing with lately. They're carried by Design Memory Craft, and I really think these are great products. Let me show you a couple. The first is the Stampers Big Brush Pens, and I use these to get multicolor on my stamps. You can use these for other things, but I'm just going to show you how to stamp with them. So I have a clear image. This is one from Hero Arts, and I found that these markers work great on the clear stamps, which is wonderful. And you can see they're really nice big markers here. There's lots of great colors. I really like the colors that they have. And there's this nice big durable tip to it, this brush tip, but you can also write really fine and it doesn't tear up. So these pens are great for real crisp images when stamping. The pen actually has a really bright India ink in it that isn't stinky and it won't bleed through papers, and it's also light fast so it won't fade. One of my favorite things about these pens is again that the tips are real sturdy, so you don't have to worry about them fraying. And also if I get another color on it like I am here, I just scribble it right off and it doesn't seem to harm the pens. And also that little tip will stay nice and pointy so you can get into tiny areas with it if you just want to color. You can also use these direct onto paper or onto canvas, but I really like them for stamping. So I'm adding just a bunch of different colors onto this image, just kind of overlapping a little bit so that I get a variation of color once I've stamped it. And these markers are fabulous because they stay nice and wet on the stamp, so I'm not having to hurry like you have to with some markers. These will stay nice and wet on the stamp so you don't have to mist them or anything before stamping them. You can huff them if you want a little bit, but really you don't need to. And you'll see here that all the color transfers to the paper very nicely. So you see a nice bright image here. I thought I'd show you another color combination here and how you can really mix up the colors. Here I'm adding a bit of a yellowish orange onto the stamp, and I just scribble off any of the green that gets onto the tip of that marker, and it doesn't seem to harm it one bit. So see here just a little bit of a different look. I decided to add some little pink flowers, so I'm using a flower image, just this tiny little guy from this Lawn Fawn stamp set. That stamp set's really cute and I love it, and I love that you can use some of the images for a different look, like here a more sophisticated floral look. So I'm just going to use one of the pink big brush pens for this flower here. Now I wanted to also say that this company isn't paying me to do this video. I just decided to try these products and I really liked them and I had a lot of questions, so I decided to show you how to use them. But again, they're not paying me to do this. This is just a product I really seem to love. And here is a close-up look at it, and I actually used the big brush pens to stamp that definition across the background of this image too. Next I wanted to show you how you can get this completely different look, a very light look with these markers. What I first did was stamp it how I showed you before on the image on the left, and then without re-inking the stamp, I just misted it a little bit with water and I stamped the image all the way on the right. So you can get second generation stamping, and you can get a watercolor look with these stamps by misting. So you can use them straight up or mist them for watercolor look. Here's another one where I did some really bright bold colors. I wanted to show how you could get really bold with these markers. Got this great Cling Daisy stamp from Hero Arts. This is one of my favorites and great for all these techniques. And I'm just going to color again directly onto the stamp. Again, since these tips are real durable, you don't have to be real dainty with this. You can scribble back and forth and it won't harm the pen. So I'm just adding some of this green. This is a really great green color. And then I'm going to color onto the daisy itself. So I'm using some pink here. Then I'm going to go around the center and add a little bit of red and then orange and some yellow right in the dead center of the flower. So as I'm going, I'll just scribble off some of the extra ink that might transfer from one pen to another. Now again, you could just color right onto the stamp and then give it a mist for a watercolor look, but I personally like these big brush pens for just direct coloring onto the stamp and then stamping right onto the paper, so you get nice crisp images. You know, for the more watercolor look, I like the look of distress inks, inked and then misted. So anyways, I'm doing a little huff here to the stamp. You really don't need to. It's just kind of a habit that I have. And then I'm stamping it right onto this Tim Holtz die cut. You can see the great bold, crisp color that you get. Now, if any of those spots were missing, I could go in with the pen and fill them in. Now I'm giving this stamp a good mist over off to the side of the video there, and I'm going to stamp it again so you can see what the second generation looks like with the water, and you can see it's a nice soft watercolor. Now I missed some area there in the center, so I'm just scribbling the marker onto my craft sheet, adding a little bit of water, and then I'm just going to paint it right in. So you can use these markers in so many different ways. And then here I'm going to show you how I stamped over this with the definition background, and I use the markers to get a variation of color along that background also. Here's another card where I used the big brush pens to do a background, like a rainbow background. So I just scribbled rows of color. This would be something that would be difficult to do with an ink pad, and you can see here how I get a great, really bright colored background. So it'd be fun to do a greeting where each letter is a different color, or a background with different dots or circles of areas, something that's really easy to do with these pens. Next, I thought I'd introduce you to a product called Gelatos from Design Memory Crafts. I have never used a product like this, and they are so much fun. These gelatos were used on the background of this card. I first started with just a clear embossed background image from Hero Arts on some blue cardstock, and I'll show you in a minute. But then I rubbed these gelatos over it to get this great finish to the background, as you see in this picture. So you'll see here in a second that these gelatos, they actually look like chapsticks to me, and they actually have consistency somewhat like chapstick. And you just kind of screw the bottom and the product comes out the top, and they have just colored gelatos or metallics. You can see them here. And this consistency is so creamy and rich that they're wonderful for blending real smooth images. So you can see I just am scribbling different colors over this background. I like to rub them right on the papers like this to get real vibrant color, real thick metallic look with the metallic ones. But you can also add water to them to get more of like a translucent tint. You can also color these right onto your stamp and add a little bit of water and then stamp with them for a real creamy watercolor look. It's really unique. I've never seen anything like this before. But I personally love this look of rubbing them directly over this embossed background. So again, there are many things to do with these gelatos. I'm just showing you one of my favorite things. I'll show you other things in future videos to do with them. Jill Foster, who I'll link on my blog, she's on their design team and has done some fabulous, fabulous things with them. So I'll link you to that too. But this is just what I found was really cool when I was playing with them. So I'm just rubbing all of these colors together with my finger. Again, it's real creamy, kind of like a lipstick or chapstick consistency. So you can spread them together really nicely for a great blended look. So now I'm buffing it with a cloth. And then I will spray this with a fixative so I don't have to worry about it smearing. So there's the finished look. Really cool. You can see what it originally looked like on the other side. Great finish. And then I added some little flowers and a die cut heart with an image from Hero Arts to finish off the card. I hope you enjoyed this little peek at these products. They're really fun to use. If you have any questions or want any more information about the products on these cards, just visit my blog on March 2nd for more information. Thanks for watching.